Next week, some of Canada's greatest athletes are getting together to swing some clubs, including new Canada Sports Hall of Fame inductees Paul Coffey and Danielle Goyette, among many others. Honored Hall of Fame member Kerrin Lee-Gartner is here to tell us some more. And this is a big event. And let's just start, though, by talking about what's in front of us, because this actually plays in to what's happening.
Well, it does. Well, the one thing about this golf event, it isn't just about a golf event. This is also the induction of our Legends class. And at the Hall of Fame the evening before on June 17th, you only get to come out and do this and see Paul Coffey in the class of this year in the Legends if you play golf on the 18th. But these clubs were made for Albert Murray's son, who will be inducted on the evening of the 17th at the Hall in 1915. Wow. And he had just amazing memorabilia that the Hall has, and it's on display. And there's also a personal stick that he used. It actually is like out of a tree branch. He made a club and played with it. In 1898 he made this club, and it's too fragile to travel, so you have to come out to the Hall to see that.
And so this Legends class, this is a bit of a new thing for the Hall.
It is. It is just this year, and it's happening here in Calgary, and there's 46 members, and this is truly the history-making sport people, and they're builders and athletes from well back in our century, and they just have done so much in different sports all across the fields. And then of course this year's induction class will also be there. So as you mentioned, Paul Coffey, Stanley Cup Finals going on. He's the hockey player of hockey players. And what I found when I met him out east when he was when it was announced he was part of the class, you would think he's already been honored enough and has celebrated his success enough. He was so thrilled with this opportunity to join the Hall, and it really says what the honor is for athletes to actually join the Hall and become part of Canada Sports Hall of Fame. It's the biggest honor an athlete can have.
Well, these classes, they're not huge, and there'll be one hockey player of that caliber pretty much per year, if that. So it is a really big deal. Some of the other notable Hall of Fame members who are coming to the golf tournament.
Lori-Ann Muntzer's coming out, powerful cyclist. She just still is strong and just has so much spirit in sport. And you know, with the World Cup, the Women's World Cup soccer on, a lot of eyes are on the soccer coverage and the soccer stars, and Craig Forrest is being inducted this year. So soccer is just one of those sports in Canada where the participation is probably the biggest in any sport, and so for him to be inducted and come out and play in the golf event, so it's pretty substantial. The heroes that are coming out, it's 41 of them coming from all over North America to participate, and people we haven't seen for years, and those that have been inducted years ago that haven't seen the new Hall. So it's their chance to actually come out and walk the Grand Hall and see the history and the inspiration that's in those walls.
Well, stay with that, because you're an honored member of Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, but what kind of joy does it bring you, and sort of awe does it inspire when you walk around these halls?
You know, when you're an athlete, you're so focused on your sport, you don't think about all the honors and everything else that comes with it. And when I walk through the hall, and I am very thrilled to be part of it, but I am still so inspired by the stories that I'm learning and the history of sport. And it's celebrating excellence and the past, yet it's focusing on inspiring the future. And I absolutely love the education program that's out there, and it's for children and adults alike. So children come out, and there's education programs from the schools around the city, and we're trying to go nationwide with a virtual education program. But the adults that walk through, it truly is something else. And it's not just a museum, you're not just looking, there's interactives in every part of it. There's dozens of interactive things you can do to feel like you're part of it and get the sense of the sport and really the history that Canada has, which is so great.
Yeah, I can never say enough good things about Canada Sports Hall of Fame. So if people want to get involved in the event, they can do so, right? They can come out and hang out with you guys.
There are a few spots left on teams as well as individual. It's the Heroes Golf Tournament. You can find it on the website at canadashall.ca. And, we really couldn't do this, as always, with supporters like you guys. And, of course, Calgary's Sport Tourism Authority, they're the title sponsor, and they do so much for the city, for getting big events like this in the city, and for supporting and encouraging healthy lifestyles. So that's one of them. And I really need to make sure they get a plug. Every event can't go on without the support of backers. And we have spots. And if you want to see Paul Coffey in the Hall and the Sticks, come play golf and join us on the 17th and 18th.
What a great event. We'll have links and information, breakfasttelevision.ca.